Hello, I'm Bob Ross, and I'd like to welcome you to the 25th Joy of Painting series. If this is your first time with us, allow me to extend a personal invitation for you to drag out your brushes and your paints and to paint along with us each show. And if you've been with us before, please allow me to thank you for inviting us back for another series of painting shows. So I tell you what, let's start out today and have them run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with us at home. While they're doing that, let me show you what I've got going up here. This is a wet-on-wet painting technique, so normally the first thing we do is cover the canvas with one of our mediums. Today I've used liquid white, and the liquid white is designed only to make the canvas wet and slick. It allows us to actually blend color right here on the canvas rather than working ourselves to death on the palette. So with that, tell you what, let's get started and just have a good time today. I thought today is such a fantastic day here that we'll just do a painting that's very bright and happy, and I think you'll enjoy it. So let's start with a little bit, tiniest little amount of the cad yellow, just a very, very small amount. Let's go right up here. Once again, the canvas is covered with liquid white, so this color will blend right on there, just like so. And I'm just using little crisscross strokes, little X's, and we'll just sort of work it across, like that. There, maybe just a touch more color, and we'll put a little bit right in here. I think we'll have some water in this painting, so let's have all these colors just reflect right into the water. There, just cadmium yellow. Now then, without cleaning the brush, I'm going to go into a small amount of the bright red. Very small amount. It's a very strong color. We only need a little bit. Okay, let's go back up here. And then with that, we'll just put a little pinkish glow in the sky. There. As I say, I thought today we'd make something that's just bright and shiny and beautiful, and it just makes you feel good. But when you're painting your painting, you do it in any color combination that you want. All we want to do here is show you how to make some of these fantastic effects very simply. There we go. I might put just a little bit more in there. Okay, good. And while we have that on the old brush, let's put a little bit down in here. So we'll allow a little of that color to reflect right into the water. That easy. Okay, that worked out pretty good. Shoot, let's keep going here. I'm going to take a little bit of the phthalo blue and a little alizarin crimson. We'll just mix those right on the brush. Shoot, make it easy. A little crimson, a little phthalo blue. Let's go back up here. And with that, ooh, that's a nice color, sort of a lavender. We'll just, still using little crisscross strokes, we'll just lay in a little of that color. And while I have it on the brush, I'm going to go down to the bottom and do the same basic thing down here. Whatever we do on top, we'll do the same basic thing on the bottom. All right. And let's finish this guy off with a little bit of Prussian blue. Now, Prussian blue is much stronger. It's a very dark blue, beautiful color. We'll add just a little bit of that right on the brush. And let's go up in here, and we'll just fill the sky up. There we go. Already we have a masterpiece for the Museum of Modern Art right here. There we go. There we go. A little bit more of that color, and we'll just add it once again right down to the bottom. That's all there is to it. Okay, now on the bottom I'm going to put a little bit of black right in the corners. I want it to be a little darker. A little darker. So at each corner I'll add just a little bit of the midnight black. Now then, the most fun part of this whole painting technique is washing the brush. So let's wash the brush. We do that with odorless paint thinner. And I have a screen in the bottom of this can so we can scrub the bristles against the screen, and the solid material sort of settle to the bottom, keeping the paint thinner relatively clean. I will shake it off and then just beat the devil out of it. As I say, that has to be the most fun part of the whole technique. Now then, let's just begin blending these colors together. Because the canvas is wet with the liquid white, it allows us to actually blend these colors together right on the canvas. Very simple. Still using little crisscross strokes, working from the light area to the dark, because you don't want to carry that dark color back down here into your light area. Okay? Now sometimes you can just beat the brush like that and it'll take the excess paint off without going through the entire cleaning procedure. There. Down here we'll just do the same basic thing. Okay. Now then, I think I'll wash the old brush one more time. I just like to wash this brush. As I say, that might be the most fun of all. I get letters from people who say they don't paint. They just bought a brush and meet it because it makes them feel better. There. And it really does. I'd like to have a bright area in this painting. So I'm going to take a little of the titanium white, just pure titanium white. And let's just go right up in here and allow that to mix with the cad yellow and the bright red and all the beautiful colors we have. And it won't show much now. But when we begin putting things in there, then it'll come alive. There we go. Now we just go across the entire canvas to sort of take out the brush strokes and blend everything together. And we're ready. Shoot, we're ready. Tell you what, let's do. Today, let's build us a little mountain. And for that, I'm going to take a little bit of the midnight black, a little touch of Prussian blue, get some Van Dyke brown. Maybe even some dark sienna. What the heck? Lizard and crimson? Doesn't matter. There we go. Pull this paint out as flat as you can get it. Take the knife and just cut across. So you get a little roll of paint that lives right out on the edge of the knife. So you can see it right out on the edge there. Okay, let's go up here. Now then, you have to make your first major decision. In your world, where does your mountain live? And I think it lives right here. Right here. You decide. Wherever you want it. If you've painted with us before, you know that I believe this piece of canvas is your world. And on this piece of canvas, you can create any illusion that you want, any dream that you want. You can put it right here. All you have to do is just learn a few little basics, then devote a little time to practice, and just let your imagination go. It's really all there is to it. We'll have something about like that. We'll grab this old 2-inch brush here, and I'm going to take it and pull this. Just pull it. There's not much paint up here. Not much paint. There, see, just pull it. Let it blend with this nice light color here. Okay, we'll pull this a little bit over in here, whatever way. And that creates a softness down at the base of this mountain. It just happens automatically. Okay. Now we're ready. Tell you what, today let's take a little titanium white and we'll reach up here and get some midnight black. Make a nice gray color. Very nice gray color. Maybe I'll even put a little touch of a little dark sienna into it too. Maybe a little touch of bright red. Just sort of let your imagination go. Wherever you think these colors should go, let them go there. All right, once again, cut across. Get our small roll of paint right on the edge of the knife. Maybe our light's coming from the left today. So we'll just take this and let it just sort of barely graze there. No pressure at all. We want these little mountains to be far away. I don't want them to be very bright. They're far away, very quiet little mountains. There. And maybe right up in here. See there though? That's all there is to it. Once again, let your imagination take you wherever you want to go. There. Because we all see nature through different eyes. And each one of us will have a different interpretation of what we see. And that's what makes it wonderful. Painting is a very individual thing. Very individual. There we go. And maybe, shoot, who knows, maybe it comes right on over in here. We don't know. Wherever you want it. And we can go back and we'll take a little white, a little bit of Prussian blue. Want to make a little shadow color and get a little black. But we have a little blue in there to give the indication of a little reflected light. And we'll put a little Van Dyke in there too. Ooh, like it. Don't overmix the color. Our little roll of paint, as usual. And we can come back in here and just begin putting in a few little indication of some shadows. I don't want a whole lot in here because I want this to look like it's far away. Too much detail will bring it too close to you. There. Just a little. Just a little. There we go. A little right in there. Maybe it comes right on out. Wherever you think it should be. It's exactly where it should be. See, we can come back in here and add a little more color. Just let that play right through there. Once again, I want to keep this very subdued. Now then, let's take our old 2-inch brush and begin tapping. just begin tapping. I want to create the illusion of mist. I'm going to grab a clean brush. That one had a little paint on it. I want to keep this as clean as possible because I'm going to begin blending that upward. That's the reason I wasn't too worried about detail up here. There, see there? Very soft. And we'll take a little white and begin blending it up. Once again, I want to create the illusion of mist and distance in here. This little mountain lives far, far away. There, now very gently, just blend it. Now see that light color we put in there is showing through. It'll create the illusion of mist at the base of your mountain. And that's what'll make your painting special. There we go. All right. That was a lot of fun. I told you you'd like this. Let's take a little bit of little Prussian blue, little white. There. Like so, I'm going to get a little bit of alizarin crimson and put in there. Maybe a little touch more. Ooh, that's nice. That's a nice. Now then. Just something about like that. Okay, let me grab an old fan brush. I think I'll use a fan brush today. There we go. And we'll just load some color right into the bristles. Just fill up both sides of it, like that. That's all there is to it. Okay, let's go back up in here. Maybe we have some little foothills, little footy hills that live right down at the base of this mountain. And we just take the fan brush and just tap downward to do that. Just tap downward. There we go. See there? That's all there is to it. And I'm going to apply less and less pressure so it's not as dark over here, because I want it to look like it's farther away from you. There. And we'll bring it, let's just bring it right on across over here, wherever you want it to be. Something about like that. But all we're doing is just tapping, just tapping. Now we'll take a clean 2-inch brush, and I want to create the illusion of mist down here at the base. There we go. So we're just tapping. And as you can probably hear, I'm tapping very firmly. This is where you take out of your frustrations and hostilities. Right here. This is better than arguing with your spouse, or because if you're like me, you always lose anyway. This is where you can really, really take out your hostilities. There. Now very lightly. One hair and some air. Touch and lift upward. See how soft that makes it look? Shoot, I tell you what, while we have that old color, put a little more on the brush, and let's just pull it straight down. And we'll create the illusion of an instant reflection. That easy. When I was a traditional painter, reflections used to drive me crazy. But this is so easy. Just pull it straight down. Because the canvas is wet, you can do this. The paint will move on there. And then very lightly go across. Just enough to move it a little bit, and it gives it a watery feel. Let's take a little bit of the liquid white, and we'll put it on the palette. I'm going to add the least little touch of bright red to it, least little touch. Just enough to warm it up. Pull it out very flat and cut across. Okay, let's go up in here. And with that, we'll just add us a little water line right in here. Just a little divider between the trees and the reflections. A little light between the darks. There we go. That little light area is what will separate and make everything stand out. Just that little light area. Isn't that neat? This is a very, very simple little painting, even if you've never painted before. This is one you could do on your first or second attempt. But when you first start, expect to run into some difficulties, because you have to think about things and figure out how they work and how to load the brush and all kinds of little things like this. But very, very quickly, within half a dozen paintings, you'll be so comfortable with this, you won't believe you ever had any difficulty with it. Tell you what, show you a neat little way to make some nice trees. Let's just take all this dark color we had, use some Prussian blue, some black, brown, crimson, some sap green, a little sap green. I tell you what, let's use some phthalo green. I like the phthalo green in trees. There. Probably use more phthalo green in trees sometimes than I do sap green. As long as it's a very bright green, so I usually try to dull it down with some of the other colors. Now then, I've got a brush here that's dirty. It's got a little white on it. And I'm going to go into this color. The reason I have that white on there is because I don't want this to be real dark. I don't want it to be black looking. Okay, I'm going to bring this brush to a nice chisel edge. Pull it through the paint, wiggle it. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle like that. And then sharpen it, just like you would a fine knife. Here, you can see how sharp that is. Okay, let's go up in here. Now maybe in our world back in here live some big trees. Now there's a lot of ways to make trees. Here's one of the simplest. Touch the canvas, give it a little push. Just give it a little push. Isn't that easy? That's one side of the tree. We'll come back and we'll put the indication of the other side. And he's got a big brother. Lives right there. See, when you're painting, make up little stories about what's happening in your world. Your friends and your relatives may look at you like you're a little strange, but that's okay. Painters are expected to be a little different. But make up little stories. It will really help you in deciding what you're going to paint. It'll give you ideas of things to paint. That may be the hardest thing in painting, is not how to paint, but what to paint. And I use this continually to come up with new ideas. In my mind, this scene may be, it may be way out in the woods somewhere, and there was an old trapper that lived out here for many years, and this is what he saw every morning when he woke up. There, and somebody's going to say, well, where's the old trapper? Well, maybe he had a bad day and he fell in the river, or maybe he moved back to the city, or wherever you want him to be. There we go. But isn't that a simple, easy way to make the indication of a lot of little trees? Anybody can do this. There. And oils are so forgiving. So forgiving. You can make a million mistakes with oils and change them very simply. With other mediums, that's very difficult. And oils, to me, have a luster that no other medium has ever achieved. There we go. Now that'll give us a few little background trees. Just living way back in there. Something like so. Now then, I'm going to take the old fan brush again. Let me grab a fan brush. And I want to put some trees that are a little closer to us. So I'm going to go right into the dark color. This has no white in it. It's very dark. Okay, let's go back up in here. Now then, here and there and here, I'm going to add just the indication of a few little evergreens. These are closer to us, so they're a little darker. This is what will help create the illusion of distance in the painting. There. I'm going to just throw in a few real quick here. And you put in, when you're doing your painting, as many or as few as you want. It's up to you. Once again, I don't want to just teach people to copy when we're doing this. I want to teach people the freedom of painting, the joy of painting. And the joy comes from doing your own thing here. All right, let's move right over in here and put a couple little ones in here. I don't want to cover up all those nice distant ones we've put in. All right, there they go. Do you ever believe you could paint a whole forest that quick? You can. You can. I know you can. There. There we go. Okay, we'll just put one more right here. What the heck? Now then, we just take that same old brush, and I'm going to go right into a little cad yellow, and that'll give us an instant green. And here and there and there and here. We'll just put the indication of a little highlight. I don't want a whole lot. A little bit of the yellow ochre and Indian yellow too, just to change the flavor. There. I want to keep this pretty dark though. There we go. You see how simple it is? These little evergreen trees, they live right in your fan brush. All you got to do is sort of scare them out. Now then, let's take some of that same old color and let's put us a little reflection that lives right underneath that. Just pull that same color straight down. Just straight down. And then go gently across, just like we did before. And that'll give us the illusion of instant reflections. While I got that old brush going, maybe there's a few little bushes and trees that live right along the water line here. We'll put in some dark. That'll be our background color. Okay. Now then, I'm going to take a little bit of the liquid white, put it on the brush. We'll go right through a little bit of the cad yellow, sap green, be right back. A little sap green, a little yellow ochre, Indian yellow. Now and then I'll touch the bright red, because bright red is a duller. Now we load a lot of color in the brush. Look at there, a lot of color. Let's go up here. Now with that, giving a gentle push, pushing upward, see there, we can create all kinds of gorgeous little trees and bushes and happy little things that live all along the water here. That easy, that easy. Maybe there's a bigger tree that lives right here. There he is. Okay, we'll give him a little friend. A little touch of the bright red there. Ooh, that's a sparkler. Shoot, let's reflect him right down here in the water. Maybe, yep, you're right. Another one lives right there. Just wherever you think they should be. Really, let your imagination take you to places that you see only in your mind. And you can do that in painting. You can do anything that you believe you can do. All you got to do is practice a little. There. See, we're just going to reflect a few of those nice little things down in the water while we got the old brush dirty. Maybe there's a little, yep, little bush lives right there. All right. Now then, 2-inch brush, and this is your test for delicacy. Touch, barely touch, just graze it. Pull it downward, like so. And then go gently, gently, gently across, just enough to sort of disturb it a little bit. But that makes those gorgeous mirror reflections in there. Let's take a little Van Dyke brown. Let's put a little dirt here. Need something for it to set on. We don't want our tree to fall off in the water and make a big splash. Just something about like so. And white, and a little bit of dark sienna, a little Van Dyke brown to mix it together. And let's just come right along in here and put a little highlight here and there, just like so. Just like so. Back to our liquid white. And we'll put a little water line in there. There we are. Once again, this little water line will separate your land from your water. There. Something about like so. Wherever you think it should be. A few little ripples here and there. Maybe the wind's just gently caressing this. Take the knife, put in a few little sticks and twigs, all those little things that live way back in the woods. There, just a few little bushes that come down on the land area. All right, let's have some fun. If you've painted with me before, you know I like big trees. So let's take some of this dark color that we had on the old, we'll use the old 2-inch brush here. Okay, let's go right up in here. Maybe in our world lives a big tree that goes right off the canvas. As I say, if you've painted with me before, you know I like these big trees. Now, in your world, when you paint yours, if you don't want a big tree here, just leave it out. The painting will still be gorgeous. But it's a nice way to practice some of these things. Just drop them in. There. And you could do this with a fan brush, a 1-inch brush, or as we're doing it here with the old 2-inch brush. I like the old 2-inch brush. It's a lot of fun. Shoot, while we got that going, maybe there's a nice little bush that lives right there. And we're just filling this up with dark color. In order to have light, you first have to have dark. You have to have the dark down here so your light shows. Otherwise, if you put dark against dark, you have nothing. Light against light, you have nothing. I just took that same old dirty brush, went right into a little bit of the yellows, all the yellows. I'm going to tap a little color in here. And let's go up in here and just put the indication of some beautiful little highlights that live out here. There, don't kill all your darks. This gets working good and it gets nice, and you just have a tendency sometimes to sort of kill all the darks. Leave some in there. It shows depth and shadows in your tree. Little place for all the little birds to hide. And you know me, I'm crazy about the little animals that live out here in these woods. There. Okay, back to our 1-inch brush. I'm going to dip it in the liquid white. Now the liquid white's there only to make the paint thinner. One of our golden rules is that a thin paint will stick to a thick paint. The paint we use is very thick, very dry. It's much, much thicker than traditional oil paints. Without that, you have a difficult time making these layers of paint stick without, well, if you've painted, you know, without becoming a mud mixer. And if you've painted, you have discovered a little bit of mud mixing in your life. That happens. All of us who have painted have a little bit of that. There we go. Okay. Maybe there's another little bush lives right here. Just wherever you think they should be. And we can take a little Van Dyke brown. Maybe there's a little path. Just goes right in there like so. Take a little brown and white. Just there. That easy. And we need some bushes on this side to sort of push that path down into the painting. There. See there? Something about like that. And we just put in some few little bushes and trees. Take the old knife, scrape in some sticks and twigs. Shoot, that's about all you need. All right. I think we'll call that one finished. Hope you've enjoyed it. Give this one a try, because it'll work for you. Until next time, I'd like to wish you happy painting, and God bless, my friend.